Hey everyone, and welcome to our Explainer. Today, we are diving into one of the biggest, most confusing puzzles in the tech world right now. Companies are spending a fortune on AI tools to make their software developers faster. But are things actually getting done any quicker? Well, the data is telling a really surprising and kind of frustrating story. So, this is the big question, right? It's what every engineering leader is scratching their head about. If you talk to individual developers, they'll tell you they feel like they're on fire, using AI to write code at a speed they never thought possible. But when you zoom out and look at the actual project deadlines, nothing has changed. It's a real head scratcher, and it's happening everywhere. And yeah, this whole weird situation, it actually has a name. It's called the AI productivity paradox. And today, we're going to break down exactly what's going on, why it's happening, and most importantly, what you can do to actually fix it. Okay, to really get what's going on, you got to look at this number. A staggering 68% of developers are now saying they save more than 10 hours a week because of AI. I mean, that's an entire workday. Every single week, just given back to them. The individual boost is absolutely massive. So where on earth is all that saved time disappearing to? Well, here's the deal. The answer is that getting real value from AI isn't like flipping a switch. It's not a one-and-done thing. It's actually a journey that happens in a few very distinct stages. And the huge payoff everyone's hoping for, that only shows up after you push through those early phases. So here's what that map looks like. You start at stage 0, obviously no AI. Stage 1 is when you start dipping your toes in, maybe some small experiments. Now, stage 2 is where almost everybody is right now, handing out AI coding assistance. Stage 3, though, that's the goal. AI that's woven into the entire process. And stage 4? Well, that's the future. We're talking fully autonomous engineering. And this chart, it just lays it all out, plain and simple. Look at this. You've got a whopping 62% of companies stuck in those first two stages, just experimenting and piloting. And only a tiny 7%, just 7, have made it to true integration. That's the heart of the problem right there. All right, let's dig into the nitty-gritty of why getting stuck here is such a big deal. It turns out making one person faster doesn't make the whole team faster. You haven't actually solved your bottlenecks, you've just moved them somewhere else. And at first, everything looks amazing. In stage 2, teams that started using AI tools were completing 21% more tasks. 21%! That's a huge jump in raw output. On paper, it looks like a home run, but there was a hidden price tag. Because here is the catch, and it is a massive one. For those exact same teams, the time it took to actually review all that new code, the pull request time, it ballooned by 91%. The AI was churning out code like a machine, but the human part of the process, the review, the approval, just couldn't keep up. And it didn't stop there. Oh no. This fire hose of AI-generated code meant that the size of those pull requests grew by 154%. So think about it. Not only was there way more code to review, but every chunk of it was way bigger and more complicated. Faster coding created a massive traffic jam in the system. So let's put it all together. This is the AI productivity paradox. It's that feeling developers have of being supercharged while the business sees zero improvement in how fast things actually get done. Why? Because the work isn't moving faster, it's just piling up somewhere else. So, how do you get out of this mess? How do you actually turn all that individual speed into real team-wide velocity? You have to break through that pilot phase and get to stage 3, integrated AI-driven development. And the difference between these two stages is, well, it's night and day. In stage 2, you're just making one part of the assembly line faster, which, as we saw, just creates a pileup. But in stage 3, you use AI to speed up the entire assembly line. From writing the code to automatically reviewing it to AI-powered testing, you're not just giving people a new tool, you're changing the whole process. And the numbers back this up big time. The early gains you see from just code assistance, they kind of top out at around 10%. But the organizations that truly integrate AI into their whole workflow, they are seeing productivity boosts of 25 to 30%. Now that is the game-changing number everybody is looking for. Okay. This all sounds great in theory, but let's look at some real-world examples. Let's talk about how some of the top companies made this leap and are now seeing those huge benefits. So take Netflix. They jumped on the AI bandwagon, and bam, they hit the exact wall we've been talking about. Their developers were writing code faster, but it all got jammed up waiting for slow manual testing.
Their solution? They used AI to shift left, which is just a fancy way of saying they automated quality checks way earlier in the process. They unblocked that pipeline and finally started to ship things faster.
Now, Goldman Sachs is a fantastic example of what going all in looks like. They didn't just buy some off-the-shelf tool. No, they built their own internal AI platform, and they trained it specifically on their own unique code. This gives their engineers AI assistants that actually understands the context of their work, and it has just completely changed the pace of their development. And check out what Reddit's doing. This is super cool. They're using integrated AI to totally rethink how they innovate. But using AI to write code fast while also running automated tests at the exact same time, their teams can now go from a brand new idea to a working prototype in a single day. Think about that. That's an unbelievable competitive advantage. So, as we pull this all together, the big lesson here is crystal clear. Getting out of this AI productivity trap. It has way less to do with the technology you buy and everything to do with how you fundamentally change the way your team works. There's this quote that just nails it. 3 out of 4 companies say the hardest part isn't the tech. It's getting people to change. It's getting them to work differently, to trust their AI assistant, and to rethink these workflows they've been using for years. It's a people problem. So here's the bottom line, the most important thing to remember. You cannot just sprinkle some AI tools on top of your old, existing process and expect some kind of magic to happen. The real success, the real payoff, comes from completely re-architecting your workflow to use AI at every single step. Which leaves all of us with one big, important question to ask ourselves. I want you to think about your own team, your own company. Are you just buying AI tools and hoping for the best? Or are you actually doing the hard work of building a true AI-driven culture? The answer to that question, that's going to decide everything. Thanks for joining me.